Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yasmin. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm a stay-at-home mom and a reseller on platforms like eBay and Poshmark. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a preview of the year 2021. And then I'm also going to talk to you about my goals for this year. Although I don't believe in making resolutions, I do think it's very important to set goals for the year. That way you can hold yourself accountable, you can track your progress. So before we get into the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you like reseller content or videos like this. So let's go ahead and get started. Guys, the year 2021 was definitely a huge roller coaster for me. There was so many mistakes that I made. I wasn't very consistent. I lacked clarity of what I wanted to sell, what was my niche. I listed whenever I wanted. I purchased inventory every other month or every few months. So I really wasn't consistent at all. And my sales and the profit that I made for my business was not what I wanted, but because I did not put the work that I really needed to put into it. Another thing that I lacked in 2021 was setting goals. I didn't set goals of how much inventory I want to list each month, per week. I didn't have a clear idea of how many hours I wanted to work on my business. I was basically just winging it. And again, that definitely reflected on my sales each month. I also lacked clarity, as I mentioned earlier, of what was my niche. I started off with health and beauty, and I loved it for the time that it existed in my business, but I wasn't smart about doing my research, so I definitely dive into a category that was very saturated on eBay. There's a lot of competition when it comes to pricing, and because I initially started offering free shipping on all of my health and beauty items, it ate up so much of my profit, especially when I had buyers that gave me offers. And because I didn't want to lose that customer, I accepted a lot of offers, and then that ate up a lot of my profit because I was paying for shipping. Now they say, yes, you should incorporate your shipping costs into your price, but when you have lowball offers, and a lot of time if you counter, you can lose that buyer, or if you accept the offer, it definitely eats up a lot of your profit. So that was another lesson that I learned, is that maybe as a starter, as a new online reseller, it probably wasn't a good idea to offer free shipping, especially because I was still learning and I was still trying to figure out how shipping worked. And if I would have known how much money I would have lost by offering free shipping, I probably would have not offered free shipping in the first place. So after several months of trying health and beauty, I just realized that that just wasn't a category that just wasn't the right fit for my business. I wanted to make more sales, and I wanted to make consistent sales, but I also wanted to make a good profit. So finding my niche was honestly one of the most difficult things for me to do, because not only did I try health and beauty, I was also diving into vintage pieces that I would find at the thrift store, at yard sales, garage sales, but those are hard to come by. So that was not going to sustain my business if I was trying to look for a treasure that is difficult to find. So I wanted to try out other categories. And after doing some research about other categories, clothing was not my first option. Although I did initially starting out clothes, they were moving out very slow for me. And honestly, I did not know a lot of brands, and to this day, I'm still learning about brands that are actually selling, that are actually trending, and that do well. But before, I did not have that knowledge, so because of that, I picked up a lot of clothing that just sat for me, and to this day, I still have a lot of pieces that I picked up at thrift store that just have not moved for me. So one of the biggest things that I also had to learn in 2021 is learning the brands that sell for me, because I am getting back into clothing toward the end of the year. I really had to study my brands. So that's something that I'm still learning, but that's something that I didn't do initially. If there's anything that I learned, so if you wanted to start your reselling business today, I think that's important that you do your research. Do research on brands, do your research on clothing and pieces that are selling well, because if you just pick up whatever you think is good, it might not do well out there. Although it can, but it might sit longer. So anyways, it took me months to discover what I really want to sell, what does really well for me, and that brings the number of profit that I wanted. I certainly experimented with different categories: health and beauty, shoes, clothing, vintage pieces. What else did I got into? Maybe selling cookware and stuff like that. Just such a random stuff. And that's how I came across Jomar Wholesale. One day I was actually just doing research on YouTube, and I came across resellers that were using Jomar to purchase inventory. And so I wanted to give it a try. I was definitely very skeptical because there was both positive and negative reviews on both of them. So I basically just took a leap of faith and purchased my first shoe box. I think it was like 25 pieces from Jomar. It was a mixed box. And when I listed all those items and saw that that box did really, really well for me, I purchased another one and another one and another one. And so I discovered my niche. Health and beauty, although I enjoyed it for the time that it lasted in my business, I wasn't making the profit that I wanted. I was actually losing money. After several months, I decided that health and beauty is not a category that's going to make my business grow, because again, health and beauty is certainly very saturated in the eBay world. But I think it's an excellent category because people are always looking for consumables. Health and beauty does really, really well, but I think that it just didn't do well for me. It may do well for you, it does well for other resellers, and I see so many resellers on YouTube that have so much success selling health and beauty, but for me, it just wasn't moving fast enough. And so I basically wasted hundreds of dollars purchasing health and beauty and not really making the profit that I wanted. So what I ended up doing, I basically bundle all of my health and beauty items and sold them. Another thing that I was debating, offering free shipping is just not doable. It's not doable for me as a starter because it eats up a lot of my profit. And also, even if I were to offer free shipping or incorporate it into my price, people are still gonna make you offers. If you're paying for shipping, that's gonna eat up more. And then the cost of shipping went up across the board on all platforms, on USPS. And so it just wasn't doable for me. And so that is something that took me time to discover. It took me months and months, probably 6 months for me to realize that, you know what, offering free shipping is just not working out for me. It's cutting way too much into my profit, and it's just not doable anymore. Another big thing that I did in 2021 was trying out different liquidation companies. I tried Wholesale Ninja, which was the health and beauty. I tried Jomar Wholesale, which is clothing and shoes, accessories. I also tried my local thrift stores and Goodwill, and then I came across the outlets in the end. And I by far have to say that buying inventory from the bins is actually the best thing because it keeps my cost of goods under $2 versus when I buy online. Another thing that I was really not paying much attention was that I was actually investing so much time in the inventory that I was getting. If you've been following, you've seen that I do a lot of unboxing. I buy a lot of shoes. And so I was finding myself spending a lot of time cleaning shoes. I was spending a lot of time scrubbing them and cleaning them and washing the laces. It was taking way too much of my time that I could be using to less. So guys, now I want to get into, I don't even think I mentioned just at the beginning, but I want to share with you my numbers for the year 2021 so that you can see that, oh my goodness, I'm really going to be very embarrassed to share this with you, but I'm going to share my sales from Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay, and then what I made overall for the year 2021. It's very embarrassing to say the least, but I'm just gonna be honest. So for Poshmark, my sales for the year, and honestly, this is reflecting true profit. This is after I took out shipping, I took out my platform fees, I took up my cost of goods, and I factor in, I basically did the whole math. So for Poshmark in the year 2021, as you can see, my profit at the beginning of the year was super low, $20 here, which I was so shocked that January and February where I sold the same amount, $23.35. And then April was probably the worst month for me, which was only $9.55. I think the best month for me was certainly, I believe it was November. November was the best month for me. And I know it's only a couple $100, or I mean, yes, less than $200. But as you can see, I started off almost making no sales to kind of gradually start making sales. And then there's some ups and downs. But for Poshmark, my total profit for the year of 2021 was $848.60. So now let's move on to Mercari. Mercari definitely died for me eventually because I stopped listing on it. I forgot about it. I just did not care for Mercari. And this is when I was selling mainly health and beauty. So this is mainly reflecting my health and beauty profits. So as you can see, they're very, very low. So for Mercari in the year 2021, I only made $123.08. Profit on eBay also was pretty consistent as far as like it stayed under $200. Again, November was my biggest sell, which was topped at $229.04. I don't know if that's correct, but I feel like I made a what sold later in November. And why is this different? I gotta go back and see. And I think my lowest month for me for the year was certainly in May, which was $51.74. So for the whole year of 2021, my total profit for eBay was $1,556.93. A combination of all of my platforms, which include Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay, I made a total profit of $2,528.61 for all platforms, combining everything, factoring in cost of goods, shipping, and platform fees and whatnot. But this does not reflect any shipping supplies for my business and stuff like that. To recap 2021, it was definitely a huge learning curve for me. I did not make the profit that I wanted, but it's because, again, I lack consistency. I lack clarity of what I wanted to focus on. I didn't really take advantage of tools available, which I'll get into that once I get into my 2022 goals for this year. So there was a lot of lessons in 2021. I made a lot of mistakes. And so I lost a lot of money buying things that just did not sell. And anyways, my goal this year is not to make those mistakes. And so that brings me to my goals of this year for 2022. So one of the biggest things that I want to focus on this year is consistency. I really want to be more consistent, because before, as I mentioned earlier, I was listing whenever I wanted. I purchased inventory every so month, and so it reflected so much on my sales. And because I don't want to make that mistake again, so this year is going to be all about being consistent, being organized, and having smart goals. So for example, one of my goals is to list at least 3 to 4 times a week, 5 to 7 items a day. I'm also planning to source inventory, whether it's online or my local outlet, twice a month. Definitely I have to make sure that I purchase enough inventory to keep me busy for the month. But my goal is to source twice a month, which is something that I've never done, because if you look at my previous videos, in one of those what sold videos or any of those videos, I would say, yeah, I haven't bought inventory in the last 2-3 months, you know. So no, we are gonna be consistent this year. I'm gonna list 3 to 4 times a week, at least 5 items a day. And I'm planning to purchase inventory twice a month, as I mentioned. And one of the things that I'm going to try to do this year, and I'm testing it out, and this is for Poshmark, because obviously we don't share on eBay, but well, you can share your store here or wherever. But with Poshmark, I'm definitely trying their Posture VA. I was hesitant. I'm like, why waste your money when you have these other things that you gotta focus on, like paying for, you know, supplies and tape, and you know, if you want certain poly mailers or whatever. There's just so much cost that goes into your business that we don't think about. But I'm thinking about giving Posture VA a chance, and that's something that would have been a no-no for me. You can try it for free for 14 days. I did try it, and then I tried it in January, and I'm still gonna try it out for the next 6 months and see if it's even worth my time. It's worth paying for it, because it is, for me, after sales tax and everything, is about 26 plus a month. So that is certainly another bill, because it is a bill, but it's a bill for my business. So now with the new law in place about taxes, if you make $600 plus, you have to report your taxes. So that is going to be something new for me. And that is one of the reasons I also want to stay organized this year, as far as keeping all of my receipts, whether that is for when I purchase inventory, when I buy supplies for my business, and again, even for Posture VA, because it is an expense for my business that I'm gonna make sure I keep track of. Another thing that I really am considering is getting a P.O. box. I want to be able to separate my business from my home address, so I think that's very important as well. So I wonder if I can add that into my tax for 2023. We'll see, but I'm gonna try. So that's going to be another expense that I have to add. Another thing that I also want to try to be consistent with is my YouTube channel. There's been times where I don't post a video, but I'm going to try to post at least one video every Thursday at 9:30. So stay tuned, or now you know, because before I feel like I was a little bit inconsistent as well. The year 2021 was very inconsistent for me, friends. But this year, Yasmin is going to be working on her consistency and organizational skills. If you had not had a chance, make sure that you get a planner for this year. because it will keep you on track. I did not have a planner last year and I was all over the place. So we're not gonna make that mistake this year. Hold yourself accountable for your goals. And I found this at Walmart for like $7, but the reason I really liked it, let me show you why. So as you can see, I already have my planner for the month. I have what I want to accomplish each day, and if I do get it done, then I'll go ahead and check mark it. So I like this page, this section. I don't know if you can see. So it has your goals on this section for the month. So this is March, but just pretend is January. So you can set your goals for the month, your work goals, what you want to accomplish for your business this month, your personal goals. As for me, so one of my personal goals is to read the Bible daily, not just every other day, but read the Bible every morning, daily. Work out 3 times a week, because ever since I had my daughter, I basically fell off the wagon and I'm not physically active like I used to pre-baby. And another thing that I want to do is also eat more fruits and vegetables, more cleaner foods, because that helps me to feel better and not feel achy or any of that. I'm sure a lot of resellers, I've been watching, you know, some of the personal goals that a lot of resellers have, and one of the biggest things is fueling your body with healthy foods and exercise. So one of the things I recommend for you to keep yourself accountable and stay on track is definitely get a calendar, get a planner. It will keep you on track. One of the changes that I want to make, even for my reseller business, and I know I feel like I'm kind of backtracking, but this is kind of a little heads up if you follow me, or if you don't, that's okay. But another big change that is going to be happening this year for me is changing the name of my eBay store. And the reason why is because at Beauty Evermore, that's the name of my store. I don't think I've ever told you guys what the name of my store is, unless you guys clicked into my eBay store and saw that it was called Beauty Evermore. But Beauty Evermore was basically created because I started selling health and beauty. And because I no longer sell health and beauty, I don't think that name really goes well with what I'm selling now, which is shoes, clothing, and accessories. And so because I want to kind of stay in that category, because that category does pretty well for me, even though I know I say I don't like selling clothing, I'm just gonna learn to love what I hate so that I can have a passion for it. I see a lot of resellers have so much success in this category, so I think I'm gonna do well. I think I'm gonna do all right. I still don't know what I want my store on eBay to be called, but I wanted to resonate with what I'm selling. And when I think about Beauty Evermore, I'm thinking about health and beauty products, and that's not really what I sell anymore. And so there's just gonna be a lot of changes to my eBay store because of that. And so I'll keep you guys posted once I do come up with a name, because I don't have a name yet. It took me a long time to come up with Beauty Evermore, and now I have a new category. So yeah, that's gonna take me a little while to kind of figure out what I'm gonna name my store. 2021 was like really bad for me, but I'm planning to do better this year. So that is the goal. Consistency is my goal this year. So we'll see how this year goes. So I would definitely hold myself accountable. Maybe in the next 6 months, I will give you guys an update about how I'm doing. So make sure you stay tuned. All right, I think I've done a lot of talking and I've been here for a while. So I'm gonna let you guys go. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, make sure you give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.